Hi traders, Lachlan here. In this video, I would like to show you how to set up a reversal ATM, particularly for those people that are going to be trading the European Open, the US Open, or the US Close, understanding that those trading sessions are absolutely famous for setting up either pivot or Fibonacci-based reversals, and they tend to go a very, very long way. Now, we're currently watching the previous ATM we constructed for previous chapters. What we're going to do is we're going to close out that particular trade. That was a multi-tier ATM. And what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to do a simulated pivot-based reversal. So let's say, for example, that you were looking to reverse off a pivot. Okay, so I'm going to bring that pivot down and say, Lachlan, I would like to reverse off this pivot. I would like to use either the ATM that we've constructed before, or Lachlan, I would like to use just a single target, very, very long range ATM. So what I'm going to do is go and select one of my ATMs because that I've used for exactly this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go and break it apart. We're going to break that ATM apart and make sure you understand exactly how to use it. So all the way down here, guys, in my list of ATMs, I've got 2024 NASDAQ plus 100, okay, with a loose ATM. Let me break that down for you. How do we break it down? We simply come in here and we push the edit button, and I'll explain exactly what that ATM is. Now, the ATM as it's constructed is basically says I want to trade 2 contracts. I'm GTC, which means I'm good to close. My parameter is ticks. I strongly recommend ticks. It's very, very easy to calculate the ticks when I show you the little 10 tick and 20 tick box. It's going to be a 2 contract trade. So I've got a 40 tick stop loss and I've got a 100 tick profit target. So that's a $500 US target per contract traded. As in the stop strategy I've selected is touch 16, pay 4. Now what that means is once the market has actually gone 16 ticks in my favor, my stop loss is going to come to +4, meaning I cannot lose any money on the trade. Now you could use, if you wanted to, as a multi-tier ATM that we did in the previous video. For a lot of new traders that are just starting the trading journey, as a reversal trade is an opportunity to actually pick up a significant amount of profit. And as I've said in the previous videos, the preferred target as for NASDAQ reversals is 100 ticks. We normally actually trade from a pivot, like we've got on the screen in the background, all the way down to a different pivot. So let me show you how this ATM works, and then I'll also show you how the multi-tier ATM works as well. So we're happy with our stop loss, we're happy with our target, happy with our contract, and we're happy with our stop loss. I could make this looser, guys, if I want to. I could make it looser by coming in here and choosing all of the ones that I've created before. For example, we could go for a touch 38, pay 10 instead. Right now, we haven't used that in one of the videos before, so let me show you exactly what that looks like. So we've modified our template, which is our loose ATM for the NASDAQ for 100 ticks in 2024. So I'm going to save that as a template. Now, if I choose to save over the top of the previous template, that's okay. I can modify the template and save over. It will say, Lachlan, are you sure you want to replace this because it already exists? As you can push yes if you want to. Then we push OK, and let's take a reversal trade. Now, the beauty of being in simulation, guys, is I can actually speed up my downtrend. Right, so let's say I was waiting for the next 25 seconds or so. This, ironically, guys, will be setting up one of the best reversals known, which is called a ratio-based static bar reversal. This is currently setting up what is affectionately known as a ratio-based SBR. There's actually another ratio-based SBR just here, okay, that little -3 rating just here. What that ultimately means is if we do pick up a -2 rating, which we have, we're setting up a really great reversal into another reversal. What an awesome opportunity to show you what this looks like. Guys, I would be selling below that -2 rated candle. I'm looking to sell 2 contracts.
Order submitted.
I'll push that on there. I'm going to go and put my little order 2 ticks underneath that particular candle.
Order filled.
That will do, guys, for the purpose of demonstration. Ideally, want to be 2 ticks under the candle. So what we want to do, guys, is we want to say, righto, Lachlan, is my ATM working correctly? Now, these are 10 tick horizontals. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40. Yes, my ATM's working perfectly. Brilliant. My target's meant to be 100. So literally 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Brilliant. As I'd strongly suggest, if you haven't seen the previous videos, These are 10 tick horizontals on the NASDAQ. If you want to set this to make your maths very easy, just right click on the price scale here, go to properties. That little window will pop up for you. Just make sure you've got a horizontal grid line of 10 ticks, which we've got there. Okay, now we said to the ATM, we want you to trigger at 38 ticks. Okay, so I've just made my little box 38 ticks tall, and I'm going to put it underneath there. And what we should find is when we get this far into our reversal, we should actually find that the ATM triggers quite nicely. Now, the beauty of the simulation is we can bring this down and make sure that we're in a downtrend, so really, really good for checking reversal trades. We can then take it one tier further if we want to and make sure that reversal is occurring quite quickly. Now, for those of you that may not have seen the previous video, how did I do that? How did I do that? I came into my control center just here. I went to my connections and I went to a simulated data feed. So I can make the market go up and down as I choose. The beauty of being able to do that is I can actually test that my ATMs are working correctly before I take a real trade and make sure the ATM, or find out, should I say, that the ATM is actually not working properly. So very, very simple. Just go to connections, go to simulated data feed, and you can make the market go up or down, fast or slow, which is a beautiful way for testing your ATMs, otherwise known as automated trade management. And in a perfect world, as if we've set this up correctly, this is going to cruise down. You note that our risk to reward ratio at the moment, we've got 40 ticks at risk for a 100 tick target. So the risk to reward is currently 2.5 times in our favor. Once our ATM triggers, we'll actually have absolutely no risk. Now, a little tip, I will give you from some of my most experienced NASDAQ traders, they like to run their stop loss behind the big candles. All right, so if this ends up actually being quite a big candle, let's watch this stop loss trigger here. Note it's got to go and touch the bottom of that little square there. If we end up with a really, really big candle, because that's quite a strong candle that everybody else around the world can see, hello, ATM triggered spot on time. I've got absolutely no risk on this trade. Once you've got a little bit more experience, you might follow in the footsteps of my most experienced traders. They will actually move their stop loss behind the really large, strong candles. Particularly if that strong candle, if that candle actually gives you a strength rating of 2 or 3 or maybe even 4, it's saying to the rest of the sellers around the world, the sellers are completely in command here. We're going to take advantage of that and we're going to rock and roll. Right now, guys, your risk on this trade is around about 10 ticks, okay? Noting that you've got a 100 tick target. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward literally 60 seconds and we're going to see if this candle gets a strength rating. If it does, it's actually going to be proof positive that a stop loss hiding behind that candle is a great spot to put it. So let's literally fast forward 50 seconds. All right, here we are, guys and girls. We've got 8 seconds to go until the candle closes. Clearly, the sellers are selling down really, really nicely. Our 100 tick target, guys, is down there, which looks brilliant. I've got to say straight up, let's have a look at this strength rating behind this candle. It's got a strength rating of 3. What that says to us is the sellers are completely in command. If you did want to now move your target to within 4 ticks of the R1, okay, this is exactly what we do when we're running the live trading room. The R1 sitting there at 327.75, so we're going to put our little target at 328.75. What we're doing is we're actually saying if the market has reversed at a pivot, the chances are it's going to go back to a pivot. That's really exciting. What we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be running that down to the pivot with the intent of maximizing the amount of profit on the trade, understanding that we don't have an auto trailing stop in place. And therefore, what we've got is a scenario whereby at the moment, I'm still carrying a little bit of risk on the trade, but my profit target is enormous. What I'd love to do is I'm going to slow that down. Let me just slow that down for a moment because I do want to show you something which is a personal idiosyncrasy. A lot of people look at this and say, Lockie, 25.50, what does that actually mean? So what you can actually do, guys, if this 25.25 or 25.50 is a little bit confusing for you, you can right click across here and go to properties. You can actually have your market expressed as points, right? Or you can express, I prefer as ticks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is push apply, then I'm going to push OK. And what you're going to find is now I know that I'm 104 ticks, 103 ticks, and similar things. Now, why do I do this? Well, it's because our stop loss is currently sitting around about 10 ticks, and at the moment I'm 105 ticks into profit. Can everybody see by sort of combining everything or making everything equal in the value of ticks, not only can you see how far you are into your trade, but you could very easily say, Lockie, you know what? I'm currently 103 ticks into profit on this trade. I only wanted to make 100. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to grab my stop loss and I'm going to bring it down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Let's say I bring my stop loss down here. Guys, just double check that. Obviously 10 tick horizontal. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Perfect. My stop loss is now 80 ticks into profit. So I can't lose any money on this trade. So you've gone from a positive 2.5 times risk to reward ratio to one that was 10 times in your favor to one that's intimately or infinitely, I should say, in your favor. And as in, if the sellers sell down, which they will do because we're in control of the market, you're going to hear that magic sign called target filled. And effectively what we've done is we've taken a great little reversal off a pivot and we've traded it to another pivot, otherwise known particularly in the European Open as a pivot to pivot based reversal trade. Now you can see, guys, not only have I got visibility of how far I am into profit on the chart, I can also see it over here on my display panel. So we'll hear this target filled and we'll say, awesome, that's another absolutely fantastic trade. As what we're going to be doing in the next video is actually going to be talking about how do you link your charts to make sure they're all on the right instrument so you don't actually make the mistake of having charts on the wrong instrument. So without any further delay, guys, let's move on to the next video and we'll talk about how to link your charts.